So here we are. We've got 3 beers in front of us today. We've got latest IPA, sort of our classic red ale that we have here a lot. Our most recent batch of Saison. So a quick sort of run through with these beers. They're kind of, you know, out of the 3, or they've got really nice kind of nuances between them. You know, this one's really a hop showcase, this one's more of a malt showcase, and this one here is really cool because it's, you know, it's really shining the light on fermentation and what sort of, you know, what you can do with really simple ingredients, but then like a wicked strain of yeast. So, you know, the makeup of the beer is pretty broad. Like this is minimal malt, but a real emphasis on hops. So it's got 3 different hop varieties in there. You know, this guy is really different because it's got, you know, it's got about 6 different grains in there. 3 of them basically make up the bulk of the grain bill, and then we've got a couple little speciality ones. And then this one here is real simple: 2 malts, 1 hop, 1 yeast. So,
what would be a light, easy beer to have?
Yeah, I think a Saison definitely is sort of more on the approachable side, just on its sort of alcohol strength. It's not too encompassing, but it definitely has like a real kind of flavour to it that's really refreshing and kind of bright. Yeah.
Is there one in particular that has less alcohol content in it?
Yeah, that would be the Saison. It actually starts off as a really low beer, like the gravity, so the sugar content is actually really low, but then it actually attenuates really low as well, which means that the yeast just kind of much every single available sugar. So it actually starts off really light and it still kind of finishes mid, but it's just really dry. So there's not a lot of like lingering sort of mouthfeel and stuff like that.
Okay. I normally drink wine. If
Yeah.
I was to go for a beer that instead of a Sauvignon Blanc,
Yeah.
what would be the most comparable?
I think you kind of got harping back on the Saison, but that definitely, it shares a lot of similarities. You know, like Marlborough is very well known for its Savs up there, and then, you know, Nelson Sauvin is kind of like the flagship hop for New Zealand in the bigger scheme of things. It's really sought after, and it shares a lot of that kind of gooseberry sort of, just the classic Sauv Blanc kind of aromas. And then we kind of pair it with that Saison yeast, which, you know, works and melds the earthiness into it as well. So I think that's just kind of like a good starting point. You know, the IPAs, they can tend to go sort of more of a tangent of more hop profiles. So if you're kind of thinking like orchard, stone fruits and tropical fruits, you know, that's where they kind of tend to go towards with them. Yeah.
So if I wanted a meal with a steak, and I normally have a Merlot,
Yeah.
with red meat,
Yeah.
what beer would I have instead?
You know, it depends if you just kind of want to have a beer that is just going to be just accompanying it, or kind of sharing a wee bit of the stage. You know, a red ale, it's a good food pairing beer. It's not overwhelming, but it's definitely got like the flavour and the body structure to it to stand up against something like a steak. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as the alcohol content goes with these 3 beers in particular, you have mentioned that the Saison would be the lighter. Can you mention more about the red ale and this one here?
Yeah, so like all our beers typically hover around that 5.5%. The Saison is actually 5, and then the red's 5.8, and then this guy's 6.1.
It's not,
but they're all kind of around the same. It's not like we've got 8% outliers and
You're right.
yeah. Like beer is really just beer in the end of the day. Yeah, some beers really flavourful, some beers just like incredibly aromatic, and then some beers are just kind of made to just guzzling down and not to think too much. Not to think too much about it. But I think the beauty of all types of beer is that they're enjoyable, and you know, you can definitely overanalyze them. Some beers really do lend themselves to be like hyper-analysed and like, you know, dig into them and get carried away. But you know, kind of at the moment for us, we're just sort of concentrating like quite heavily on these draft beers, beers that people can just sort of sit around with their mates and have a good old yarn. If they want to kind of dive into it, they can.
Thanks for the education.
Yeah.
I know nothing about beer, so it's given me some insight today.
Yeah, cool.
So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers guys. Yeah.